Uncle Mark here, just going to be working on front sway bar stabilizer links on this Kia Sorento. These ones are pretty shot. You can play some little games with these little guys. It's like both sides. That's what we're up against, and we'll show you how to do it. It's not that hard, but it's going to take like some patience as always. Let's do it together. If you're new to the channel, hello. This is in 4K, so you can watch on your big TV if that helps. Might give you a little better picture of what's going on. So first time I've done one of these on this Sorento, so it's all new to me too. Just going to try and loosen the wheel nuts on the tire while it's kind of on the ground there. It'll be a little easier than they're tight too. It's crazy. I'll try and give you some specs later on as well, and I'll show you some of the problems I had taking these off. Where did I jack it? Well, I used the floor jack. There's a couple places under here. They kind of almost have like a decent, almost like a frame under there. Well, you of course got your subframe, which is right here, which would go towards the front. I just don't want to clip on that. I think I'm going to do it right where that bolt is there. Otherwise, you could probably do up here too if it's not rusted out. You got to be careful. Let's check and make sure that whatever you're jacking up on is solid. So I started taking these off. And I believe this was a 19. And look at those tires, pretty bald. More videos to come on this vehicle. This is the first stuff I'm fixing on. I just got this vehicle, and it needs at least one side for sure. These sway bar links are gone, so we're going to do them both. I'll show you how bad they were. I'm going to try and just clean the threads off so that the bolt comes off a little easier. I'm going to do the top and the bottom, whichever way you want to try and do it. It does make it a little easier because it's been, dirt and whatever else is accumulated on there. I'm going to actually spray them with some penetrating oil as well. You can eat away at that a little bit or try. You can let it maybe pre-soak for a little bit and go have a coffee or go have breakfast or lunch, then come back to it. That always makes it a little easier. And I've got a bar here I'm going to use. Oh, I've got jack stand for safety as well. I put it under that front part of the subframe. 18 millimeter bolt is what this, I believe, are. You'll need something to do that, and an 18 millimeter wrench in the back probably would work. I was trying to figure out where did that 18 millimeter of mine go. It's an odd size. You know, if you've got a set of wrenches, they usually go from 17 to 19. Wow. 18's an odd one. But I had something to jam in there that was similar size. I did use finally found my wrench later on. Trying to get this on. So what you're going to need to do is, it's going to want to spin. So you're going to have to hold it somehow. It'd be nice if you had a buddy to help you. Or a budette. Whatever they're called. Because a bidet won't help. So if somebody could hold one of the wrenches, and then you'd have all your, let me see how it's spinning around. You'd have all your leverage to work on one side of it. So, of course, lots of moving things around. Actually, I tried turning this a little bit. We're on the passenger side still here. I used some vice grips. That seemed to work not too bad. They won't fall out. And then I had it sitting against the strut so that when we turn it, it's going to be pushing against the strut and it can't turn. Just watch, don't pinch your brake hose or was that a wheel hub sensor maybe? One of the two. Got a big hammer. Ended up having to hit it quite a few times, and it wasn't moving very easily. I saw somewhere, as I was pre-thinking how I'm going to make this video and what needs to be shown, where some guy did these in 60 seconds. I'll take these off in 60 seconds. Well, he had air tools and everything. Most people don't have air tools. I do have some, but again, I figured you're not going to probably. So we'll show you just the real way to take them off. It was kind of funny about this 60-second things. I'm thinking it would take you no time at all if you just paid somebody to do it. But that's not the purpose of this. These are a pain in the butt. So maybe do it on a Saturday afternoon or something. Wouldn't be a bad idea. Now, how do you get at this lower one? right there. Oh, I see I've got my wrencher this time. You get it on the one side. And this is going to make it want to turn up, right? I'm going to have to actually pull it towards the front to loosen it. And that wrench is going to want to come follow us as well. So it might be better if we can get it to stop against something somewhere else. So on this side, I'm going to try it from the front angle here somehow. Try and get it on there. Of course, the way that nut is on the inside that we're trying to take off, it's only sitting a couple certain ways and not the way you want it to. So if you can get the whole thing to spin first before you put that wrench on, like try and pre-fit it, see where it's going to sit. You might have to pull the other one on the nut to get it to turn. If that makes some sense, you'll see in a minute here what I mean. See how much room is there? I want it to actually be on the lower control arm. So try and turn it or move it down or something. So it's sitting right against the control arm, so then it'll hold that inner nut, we'll call it. So I figured, okay, well, I'll just move it down. I'll try and hammer it down a little bit where I want it to sit. And again, it's in a weird spot, not a whole lot of room to hammer or anything. So I thought what I'm going to do is this lower one, which actually has the nut that we're trying to turn, I'm going to run a jack on it, jack up against it, and get it to turn. Now it has to turn counterclockwise, but you have to be turning counterclockwise from the other side, if you know what I'm saying. This will look clockwise from this side, but we're on the wrong side of the nut. Lefty loosey, righty tighty in this situation. So you see what we're doing here? We're trying to turn it. It's going to move everything, hopefully. Eventually it will once it all starts moving. There we go. This wrench is moving down. So that's good because I want it to sit against that lower control arm. Once it's there, it won't be moving. I can just worry about one wrench. So you jacked it up just almost against this tie rod end, and then it drops her down. Slow process. It is on tight. And it didn't seem to want to loosen, and it's turning everything. So up I go again. Of course, safety glasses, a must, just in case something happens here. And as that goes up, it will be loosening. So make sure this other wrench is on nice and tight. Sometimes these things don't go the way you figure either. You're moving them, and as it's moving, it doesn't want to move directly straight up or down. It wants to move up and to the side. And that's what I found out with this once it bottoms out here on our control arm. Hey, skippable chapters. Let you know about that right now. I want to try and make this as short as I can. And here's what I was talking about on this other side here. Now this wants to flop around, and it's just going to keep flopping, and it's going to want to come off. So I thought maybe I could stick something in one of those holes there to hold it from moving around any more than it needs to. So let's got one of my extensions for one of my ratchets. And jammed it in the hole there a little bit to give it a little bit of, see how that's going to work? It's going to go against there. Okay, we can leave that there. And then we can start working on this puppy again. You know, this works, jack it up. As it goes up. It's not in the way. And then I was able to start doing it by hand. Skippable chapters. You can skip the next part if you want. Also, if you don't mind, you must have learned something already. Why not give me the thumbs up? That way it helps everybody know, including YouTube, that, hey, there's a couple of good ideas in here. Wasn't there? There's a couple. There'll be more. So once you get this nut off of here, notice I didn't take the top one off. I left it on there. This one, okay, we're going to get the nut off, but I'm going to leave it sitting in there, the bolt part. So the top one, we take it off. There's a reason for this too. Trying to figure out which one you want to take off first. If we would have popped this one out, we might have had trouble turning everything. And we can get this lower wrench out. take my extension out. Now, this is tight in here still because we've got your sway bar is holding the link up, like it's forcing it up. It's the way a sway bar works, right? So I'm going to take one of my pry bars that I've got, or this is probably a bar for breaker bar. And I'm going to try and move on the sway bar. And you see that's actually going to give us a little bit of leverage and take some tension off of it. Again, the second person will be nice. There we go. That came out good. Now the whole thing should pop out. That easy. What I noticed about these on this vehicle is some of them, both sides will be the same link, just turned around, not on this one. I'll show you the difference between a brand new one and a used one. How different they are in stiffness. Well, the ones I got here, I think I got them through an online parts store. I don't know if you can get them on Amazon. If you can, I'm going to put a link in there. These ones were greasable, and I thought, you know, if you put a little extra grease in it, that can't hurt. 'Cause a lot of times, the pre-greased ones were supposed to be lifetime. There's not much grease in them. And what does lifetime really mean? If they give you a lifetime warranty, that would be nice. So these actually had little nipples that I ended up putting on them. And once you got all these little safety caps off, that's just for shipping so you don't wreck the rubber boots. I mentioned they are different, so that end looks the same. If you look at this end, the actual hexagon piece there, it's got a different angle to it. So it's like, okay, well, that's not right. We'll try a different one then. Here we go. This one has got the little grease nipples we can put in. So that's what I ended up doing. Hand screwed them in there, make sure that you don't strip them. Of course, I mentioned skippable chapters. We skip to the next chapter there where we're in putting them on. Otherwise, this way I'm going to put them in here. I'm going to shoot a little bit of grease in them, and we'll continue on. So once I got them in, of course, you're going to have to tighten them with some type of, what do you want to call it, a little wrench. I think this was an 8mm. We'll make them fairly snug. Just when we put some grease into, if they're not leaking, we'll know that they're tight enough. And don't want to lose that little rubber boot too, that can't hurt. Keep dirt out of the grease nipple. So tighten that all up. Of course, if you're thinking of getting the ones that are greasable, it would be good to have a grease gun. Otherwise, you might as well just get the ones that are lifetime grease, I guess. Again, this would be nice if there was two people. I guess you could have greased them while they were on. I just figured, since I have them off, I can just do them now. Put those little grease nipple covers back on. And okay, you don't need to see that. You'll notice that this is a little different. The one we took off, you needed a wrench to stop it from spinning. On this one, it's some kind of a hex. I think you could probably use like a torque bit. It'll be a little bit different though. Put the bottom one in. These new bolts have some kind of a nylon in it. They're locking. So that should help as well. So I'm going to put that one on the bottom. Then we'll continue on with the top. If you'd like, I also have a playlist I've started for this vehicle. Oh, look, those won't match up. I have to take my pry bar. See how it looks like it's taller? That's just because the spring action of your sway bar. So I have to get it to pull down far enough so I could get that one piece in. What you could do too is you could always use the handle off for your floor jack if that's what you need to pry with. So back to this playlist, top right-hand corner, flashing yellow arrow. Comes to a playlist. I'll try and put all the repairs that I'm doing on this vehicle there. I'm hoping to have this for a little while. Hopefully we don't have to do too many repairs, but there's a couple different things. I'm trying to tighten it up. Just, I don't know what the torque's supposed to be. There's no way I'm going to get that bottom one anyway, so I'm just making them tight. Now the bottom, I'm going to use a ratcheting wrench. One that's a swivel, makes it a little easier. You can save a little bit of time putting it on that way. Do the same thing, tighten it up till it's really tight. How's that for a spec? And then move on. Don't forget to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. And next time I come up with another video, you'll be notified. I try and do one a week on a Sunday. Usually I try and put them out. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again. And stay safe.